From the Albuquerque Journal, this is the leading news. I'm Gino Gutierrez. It's Monday, June 1st. Here's what we're covering on today's episode. A New Mexico legislative committee will hold its first public meeting today to investigate activities at Jeffrey Epstein's 7,500-acre Zorro Ranch in Santa Fe County. The bipartisan panel faces an early challenge, gathering testimony from survivors without interfering with a reopened criminal investigation by the New Mexico Department of Justice. Commission Chair Andrea Romero says survivors will be able to provide private testimony, and the panel plans to coordinate with the state investigators through a formal agreement. The commission has hired a law firm under a contract worth up to $750,000 and aims to release an interim report by July 31st and a final report by year's end. Meanwhile, New Mexico Attorney General Raul Torres has reopened the state's Epstein investigation in March after it was halted in 2019 at the request of federal prosecutors. Officials are encouraging anyone who was abused at Zorro Ranch to contact state investigators. While Democrats are almost certain to keep control of New Mexico's House of Representatives, Tuesday's primary elections could influence how progressive or moderate the chamber becomes. Several moderate Democratic lawmakers are seeking a return to the roundhouse, while some incumbents are facing challenges from candidates backed by progressive groups, labor unions, and trial lawyers. One closely watched race pits Albuquerque Representative Marion Matthews against attorney Abby Foster. Matthews, considered a moderate Democrat, has drawn criticism from progressive over votes on issues such as paid family leave. Political analyst Brian Sanderoff says the results could affect the future of the legislation on climate change, gun restrictions, and paid family leave, where moderate Democrats often held deciding votes. Of the 64 incumbents seeking re-election, only 13 are facing primary challengers, and many Democratic primary winners are expected to cruise to victory in November due to the state's heavily Democratic districts. New Mexico lawmakers are exploring a more coordinated strategy to reduce youth nicotine addiction, as the state's Tobacco Settlement Permanent Fund is expected to grow to nearly $500 million next fiscal year. During a committee hearing in Santa Fe, Senator Martin Hickey said the state lacks a comprehensive approach to addressing youth nicotine use, despite having broader strategies for issues like substance abuse and behavioral health. Lawmakers also received an update on a lawsuit filed by the New Mexico Department of Justice and Attorney General Raul Torres against retailers including Circle K, alleging they market flavored vapes in ways that appeal to children. State officials hope penalties under the New Mexico Unfair Practices Act will make vape sales less attractive to retailers and help curb youth nicotine addiction. And the Albuquerque City Council is set to vote today on a proposal to raise the city's minimum wage from $12 to $15 per hour beginning in 2027. An automatic annual increase starting in 2028 is tied to both inflation and local housing costs. The measure, which is sponsored by councilors Tammy Feeblecorn, Joaquin Baca, Nicole Rogers, and Stephanie Tellez, would also increase tip wages to $9 per hour. Supporters say the increase is needed because wages have failed to keep pace with rising rent, noting that many full-time minimum wage workers cannot afford a two-bedroom apartment in Albuquerque. Critics, including councilors Renee Grout and Dan Lewis, and local business groups, warn the policy could strain small businesses, reduce hiring, and create uncertainty because future wage increases would be tied partly to housing costs. Economist Kelly O'Donnell says the wage hike itself is reasonable and unlikely to significantly reduce jobs, though linking future increases to rent levels could make labor costs less predictable for employers. The leading news is powered by the journalism of the Albuquerque Journal. If you enjoy hearing all of the stories we share with you here daily, please consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Journal by utilizing the discount code in our show notes. Every subscription helps support local journalism and allows us to provide you with the news that matters to you. Now taking a look at Albuquerque's weather forecast. Today you can expect sunny skies with a high near 94, and as for this evening, mostly cloudy with a low around 64. To keep up with all the latest news from the Albuquerque Journal, you can visit our website at abqjournal.com. That's the leading news. I'm Gino Gutierrez. We'll be back tomorrow.